let me give a few referrals so things don't get misunderstood about what I want to get into. On November 2nd, before Joe was officially declared the winner of the 2020 race, I did a video titled Biden or Trump, the House and or the Senate. Towards the end, I said that in either case, whichever party comes out on top, the fuckery is just getting started. Another video on here I did titled Oprah Winfrey or Donald Trump. That video was originally done on my other channel on January 15, 2018. And in that video, I was asking how fast do we want to get to hell? Do we want to get there today where we have no time? Or do we want to get there next week where we'll maybe have some time to stop it? But with either party, we going to hell. It's just that with one, we'll get there faster than the other one will get us there. November 18, 2020, I did a video titled Republicans versus Democrats, the Lesser of Two Evils Dilemma. In that video, I said that with Democrats, we'd be granted a last meal and a cigarette before our execution, whereas with Republicans, they just take us out and shoot us. Me, I'd prefer a last meal and a smoke first, because at least I'd still have some time. Some time to do something. And there's a lot of other videos on here where I talk about the ill intentions of the Democratic Party, like the gun control garbage, or the anti-capitalism atmosphere it's stirring up. It's a lot of videos on this channel like that. But I gave those few referrals because I don't want what I'm about to get into to sound like I just got here yesterday, or like I had some kind of epiphany about the Democratic Party and I missed Trump already and now I've seen the light. One more reference though. A video titled Second Amendment, Joe Biden and Buyer's Remorse I did on February 9th, 2021, where I was talking about what I'm going to get into today. And if you haven't saw that video, go see it. If you saw it but only watched a bit of it, go finish it. But remember, I was talking about how I didn't want to see Democrats with the House, the White House, and the Senate because absolute power corrupts absolutely. Well, that's happened. They got all three.
The discussion continues on the other side about blowing up the Senate by eliminating the legislative filibuster. As some of you may have noticed, I laid out this morning that in a 50-50 Senate, that's not quite the panacea for the left that they think it is. If you take away the 60-vote threshold, you still have a 50-50 Senate. And the minority, given the way the Senate operates, is not toothless. I, as you recall, said no to President Trump on numerous occasions, to his suggestion that the Republican majority in the Senate do the same thing. He tweeted against me. I stood up for the institution. At least so far, it doesn't appear the Democratic majority leader is going to stand up for the institution.
There. Democrats got the House, the White House, and the Senate. Now Democrats want to get rid of the filibuster, which, if they get it done, authoritarianism will be here soon. In the Buyer's Remorse video, I was asking about how Republicans will make it worse.
We sent our Garrett Tuckman to Mingo County, West Virginia, coal country. The county's tied for the second highest unemployment rate in the state at just over 11%. About 85% of voters in Mingo County voted for the former president in the 2020 election. Only one other county in the state gave him a higher percentage of the vote. This is clearly Republican voters. So we wanted to see how the relief bill is being received there. Here's what Gary found.
Shiron Ray Justice has a disability and hasn't been able to find a job.
How do you feel about the fact that no Republican senators voted for this COVID relief bill? They all said no to it.
Yeah, that's some hogwash bullshit there. I mean, they should. I apologize for my language, but they should loosen up a little bit. You know what I mean?
That was a Republican right there. Upset when he found out that no Republicans voted in favor of that $1,400 stimulus. And he's not the only one, not by a long shot. And look at what the Red Party is doing in Georgia.
You'll never learn.
Still tampering with voting. Same thing they've been doing for 4 years, which is one of the same things that calls for people to come together in masses against it.
Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 6 starts with breaking news tonight from the U.S. Capitol, the scene of another tragedy. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Matthew Campbell has been tracking this investigation and is live with us now with the very latest on this. Matthew?
Yeah, Irene, as each hour passes, we're getting a better picture of what happened and those who were involved. So let's start with the victims here. Police say the officers were attacked by 25-year-old Noah Green of Indiana. They say Green drove this car into 2 officers this afternoon. And after Green rammed the officers, police say he got out and lunged at other officers with a knife. CBS News is reporting one of the officers was stabbed in the face, but it is unclear who is the victim of that attack. Now, the suspect, he was shot and killed.
Now, I don't know exactly why Knucklehead did that, but if I had to guess, I'd guess it's some of that Joe Biden is not our president stuff that comes from the nutcases in the Conservative Party. Now, they're saying that Noah Green is Nation of Islam. Me, I don't see that he's a member. I saw that he was, in agreement with some of the stuff the NOI be saying, but there are NOI members that support Trump. Louis Farrakhan himself endorsed Trump, but whatever his reasons was, it's still being connected to what happened on January 6th. And I seen the BitChute video of Rizza Islam speaking of a declaration of war over the idea of mandatory vaccines not long before Green went out and did that. Now, the Second Amendment, those with some sense knows that the goal is ultimately to outlaw guns outright. And I thought they'll be able to get that done, but it's not impossible, especially when the world seems to be on one accord with establishing this new order. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, America is the final frontier as far as being the only country where citizens got guns like this. It might be an exception somewhere, but in the capacity that we got guns, this is the only place left. But Republicans, I suppose, are going to go out and start shooting people up as a way to protect the Second Amendment, which in turn is going to make it easier to chip away at gun ownership. The hyper-patriotism of the Red Party. The America first and to hell with immigrants and China and everybody else attitude. The hyper-patriotism, we need to get back to the traditional American values as the forefathers of the Constitution intended.
We wrestle not with flesh and blood, but principalities and powers.
Those people, the hyper-patriots. The hyper-patriots are what brought everybody out against the Republican Party, who just not long ago had America in the palm of its hands.